Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri, and on today's DIY Wednesday, we're making the costumes, man. Halloween is right around the corner and it is fucking crunch time. So yeah, have you figured out what you're gonna be for Halloween? Do you have your supplies? I hope so, because today we're getting into it. Past couple of years, my Halloween costume has been selected based upon poll. Every year during the week prior to Halloween, the poll studio does Halloween themed nights. I teach on Mondays. We usually pick the theme for Mondays based on the song that I select to do my choreo routine to. So this year I picked a song, Dolls. I'm not sure if it's called Dolls Kill, but I think it's by Bella Porch. It doesn't really matter. It's neither here nor there. No one gives a shit about the song I selected for choreo. However, based on the song that I selected, my theme for Monday night's class is dolls. That's very open-ended. I think anything could be a doll at this point. I've been telling my students, you could be a baby doll, you could be a Barbie doll, you could be Raggedy Ann or Andy, you could be anything you want. So, knowing that, I probably selected one of the hardest fucking dolls on the planet to make. I know. I don't know why I torture myself like this every year, but I looked up, do you remember Bratz? Those Bratz dolls? Different companies have morphed into LOL, OMG dolls, there's Monster High dolls, and there happens to be a doll series called Rainbow High. When I saw Rainbow High, I knew I had to be the orange doll, and her name is Poppy Rowan. And she's fucking darling. All of the Rainbow High dolls have their like normal, everyday look, but then they also have a cheerleader look. So I selected Poppy Rowan cheerleader version as my Halloween costume. So no matter what you've selected as your Halloween costume, we have to make it like now. I'm gonna go over the thought process that I have while selecting the items for my Halloween costume and how I'm gonna recreate them and turn them into cheerleader Poppy Rowan. And maybe that will help stimulate you into thinking about your Halloween costume and the supplies you need and how you're gonna morph those supplies into your costume. So, you know what kind of bothers me? I'll tell you what kind of bothers me. So we're adults. I mean, I'm 50 years old and I'm making a Halloween costume, and I've made a Halloween costume for myself every single year since my mom stopped making my Halloween costumes. And what I don't like is I feel like some of us as adults, we're like, why am I gonna make a Halloween costume? I'm an adult. I'm not going to a Halloween party. Why on earth would I dress up? Well, I'm not going to a Halloween party either, but I love dressing up. Why should the kids have all the fun on Halloween? I dress up every year to pass out candy. I think it's super fun to open the door to the trick-or-treaters, and I'm in full costume as well. I'm admiring the trick-or-treaters costume, they're admiring my costume. It's just fun. We need some fun in our lives. And Halloween's like the best time to do it. So if you're thinking, I'm not gonna dress up, I'm not gonna make myself a costume. Last year, we went over different ideas, easy, quick Halloween costumes that you could make for yourself, whether you're a sewer or a non-sewer. So really, there's no reason why you shouldn't dress up for Halloween. There really is no reason. You should do it because it's just gonna be so much fun and you're gonna be so happy. And think of the pictures you'll get for Instagram. So yeah, if you haven't given any thought to a Halloween costume yet, I hope this video changes your mind and you start thinking about something you could be. It could be something very easy, like, did I tell you guys that one year where Davis came to me at the last possible minute and he was like, oh, I need a Halloween costume all of a sudden, because I usually make his costume every year as well. But as he was getting older, I was like, if you don't tell me what you're gonna be, I'm not gonna have time to make it. And so of course this one year he was like, I'm not gonna be anything. I'm not dressing up. And then of course at the last minute he was like, I need a Halloween costume. So I ended up making him be a stick figure and it ended up turning out so cute. I just went and bought like a white turtleneck from the Walmart, white like scrub pants or whatever. And then I took black electrical tape and I just made a line and a line and a line and lines down the legs. And then I took a paper plate, attached elastic to it, and cut out eye holes, and he looked fucking darling. So your costume does not need to be as elaborate as Cheerleader Poppy Rowan. It could be as simple as a stick figure. So if you haven't started thinking about it, think about what you're gonna be. Then, once you've thought about what you're gonna be and you've decided this is it, I always go on the internet and scour pictures of what I wanna be. Hence why I had this printout. Poppy Rowan, like I said, she has her everyday version and she has her cheerleader version. And at first I was torn because part of me is like, ooh, the everyday version, I could knock that out in an instant. It's like, go find a sweatshirt, crop it. But then I was like, oh, her shoes look a little detailed. And then Davis was like, you should be the cheerleader. You're a cheerleader, that's you. So in knowing that I needed these elements, I started hunting thrift stores, Amazons, everything I could think of in order to find these elements. Now, these elements are very specific to orange Poppy Rowan. While I did search for an orange cheerleading skirt, I honestly did, because I was like, if I don't have to make stuff and it's just done, awesome. But I couldn't. So I did go to the thrift store and I found this skirt here. Now, while it looks a little, not orange, it's kind of more like if brick orange was a color, the shape is right, and I like that it has seams I can work with to like cut the little slit, what have you. So what I did, knowing as I have this as my base, I went to the Joann's and I bought a bunch of bias tape to create the stripes in the skirt. Bias tape, because I was like, how am I gonna do that? These are already little like stripes of fabric. So look at that. That is the perfect stripe size to outline the hem of this skirt. And I got white, black, and orange. Skirt, supplies, cover. Oh, I also went on to my Cricut and printed out the rainbow so that when my skirt is done, I could iron that on. Now, if you know anything about me, I'm all about the details. So this shit can't be half-assed for me. I think that you're more recognizable as the character that you're trying to be on Halloween if you can nail down all the details. And I'll tell you how far I went in details. It's pretty ridiculous how far I went in the details. It's really ridiculous. Again, for the elements of your costume, if you can't find the exact article of clothing or the exact shoe or the exact whatever, just like we do with our DIYs, take that element and pull apart its parts and pieces and think, okay, honestly, it's just an orange skirt that's kind of straight, maybe A-line, and then it's got some stripes on it and the word rainbow. How can I achieve that with different things, different found objects, what have you? Whether you're a sewer or not. I mean, honestly, I have my sewing machine out here, but if I wanted to, I could fabric glue all of the stripes around the skirt. No sewing needed whatsoever. You could also get that iron-on like hem tape and iron on your stripes if you were being Cheerleader Poppy Rowan, but you know what I mean. So next is her jersey. Now, I did buy a jersey online. It's impossible to find a jersey that's orange on the bottom and white on the top. But I did find for pretty cheap, I think this was like $14. This is like a boys practice football jersey. So my plan for this is there is a seam right here. So I'm gonna unstitch this top shoulder portion from this bottom portion. Take those two things apart. This is a plan in my head. This is hopefully going to work. I got some orange RIT dye and I'm gonna dye the bottom portion. And then once that's all dyed, I'm gonna sew the two parts back together. And then I'll have a jersey that's orange on the bottom and white on the top. And then I went to my Cricut again and I Cricuted out a 59. Now, if you didn't have a Cricut, because part of me was thinking this too, if I didn't have a Cricut, what would I do? Well, guess what I would do? I would either take a Sharpie or some black paint and I would just draw a 59 onto this jersey. And then again, for the stripes around her collar and her sleeves, I'm just gonna use the bias tape. So parts of the jersey, I have them all here. I just have to put it together. So next part, she's got these darling little knee socks with the stripes on it and it says rainbow around them. Well, I had these knee socks. I've clearly never worn them. They're super, I didn't want to buy another pair of knee socks. So I was like, I can figure out how to make these work. I've got this big expanse here that I need to cover up. So I did end up buying wider, thicker bias tape. And then I also bought this like satiny, oh, it's a satin blanket binding. Now I could have purchased ribbon, but they didn't have any ribbon this wide either. So what I'm thinking is either sew or hot glue this around my sock, and then again, I'm going to iron on the rainbow from my Cricut around the thing. So hopefully, the socks are kind of the iffiest part. Like I'm hoping I'll be able to cover up all that rainbow stuff. And then, I don't know. Again, it's like, I'll figure it out. I have a free pair of socks here, so this is what I'm gonna use. So then that brings us down to her shoes. Now, her boots, I die over. So here are her boots. What I really wanted to find was I wanted to find some like stripper heels in these colors, but that was impossible. So what I ended up doing was going to the thrift store and I found a pair of boots that weren't perfect, but they were the right like style of boot. I spent $13 on at the thrift store and they were like a camel-y color. So you know what I did? I spray painted them white, and then I bought black paint and orange paint. I put Davis in charge of making the boot, and look it. Look it! Can you even believe it? A $13 thrift store boot that I just used spray paint on and then made Davis paint to look like her boot, and they look amazing. Seriously, again, moral of this story is you need a shoe, go to the thrift store. Spray paint works wonders. I can't tell you how many times I've spray painted shoes for Halloween costumes. I mean, you're only wearing them once and spray paint's fine. Spray paint, regular paint, totally fine. So boots, because I put Davis in charge of them, these are done. All I have to do is, she's got yellow shoelaces. You can't find yellow shoelaces, but what I did find was yellow grosgrain ribbon. I'm gonna just lace these boots up with this ribbon and call these done. So now that brings us to this girl's wig. This is where I got out of control with the details and now I'm kicking myself. So, at first glance, it looks like Poppy's hair is just orange. Well, that's not true. I watched some doll videos. Her hair is orange, but it also has stripes of pink and stripes of yellow. I dare you to find a wig that is orange with stripes of pink and stripes of yellow in it. You can't. I looked. So what I ended up doing, which is dumb, I just shouldn't have done. Sometimes you can forego minor detail. No one's ever gonna know that Poppy's hair isn't straight orange. I mean, maybe some doll collector might. And part of me is like, you are so obsessed with the details that sometimes you make it so hard on yourself, when if the rest of the costume was completely detailed and the hair was solid orange, it'd still be money. No one would know. However, again, I wrapped myself up in the details too much and I ended up buying an orange wig, a pink wig, and a yellow wig. So what I did, it's ridiculous, but hopefully you'll appreciate it and maybe you'll go to the same lengths. When you get a wig, the wig hairs are sewn in like a track onto a netted cap. You can see these rows of hair right here. So I took my seam ripper and I seam ripped away the rows of hair. I did that on the yellow wig and the pink wig. And then got my orange wig, and in between where the orange rows were, I started from the bottom and I sewed in the yellow row, then I sewed in a pink row, then a yellow row, and then a pink row. So now her hair is orange, but it has the pink and the yellow right around in here somewhere. It has the pink and the yellow in it. And I love it. I mean, it is amazing. But in doing that, I made this wig fucking heavy as shit. And since her hair is in a ponytail, when I put this wig on, it just falls right off. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to secure this to my head a little bit better. I need to figure out a way to like curl it so it's got that curl that she has. But wig is part done. I'm super pleased with it. I just don't know how it's gonna stay on my head. But I'll figure something out. I'm innovative. Part of me is thinking I'm gonna cut a hole in the net right here. And then I'm gonna put my own hair in a ponytail so that I can pull my own hair through. And then I'm gonna wrap my own hair around here. And then I'll be able to cover up my brown hair with her little butterfly bow. And in order to get this butterfly bow, I had to buy bits and pieces for that shit too. Somehow I'm gonna figure out how to get that butterfly effect. And then I also bought little cheapy rhinestones. So I have her stuff for her bow too. Her pom-poms, which this is where I am gonna forego a little bit of the detail because her pom-poms are orange, silver, and gold, it looks like. I have gold pom-poms from my, 49er days. I think I'm just gonna use those and not have them work in it. But don't tell anybody, it's fine. No one will know. Yay! I've broken down all of the details of my costume. I have found all of the bits and parts that I need to now combine into one beautiful Poppy Rowan cheerleader outfit. That's what I want you to do. If you haven't selected something that you want to be for Halloween, select it. Take a look at the pictures, break apart. You could very well find something exactly that you need at a thrift store. You may not have to do anything to it. You could go down to the Halloween store and find the exact wig or the exact socks, and you may not have to do anything to those elements. But look at your details of your costume. Think about how you can break it down. Things you may already have in your house that you can just alter, dye, spray paint, and then start thinking about, how am I gonna put this together? How am I gonna put this together? Go get all that stuff, bring it back to your house, pile it around you on your floor, and let's start making it. Now that you have all your supplies and they're all gathered around you, pick the piece that's probably going to take the most amount of time. Joe's here, he's helping us too. I wanna start on the jersey because I have to dye that. While that's like brewing in the dye, I can then move on to like the skirt or the socks. So, like I mentioned, I need to get the top away from the bottom. And I was like, oh, you could just seam rip it, it'd be easy. But they really sewed the shit out of this. So I'm gonna cut it to save me some time. Yeah, save yourself time where you can. Just right along the seam, I'm just gonna cut right under it and take these two parts apart from each other. So look at your parts and pieces and kind of deduce what you wanna work on first or what you can work on first that maybe needs to sit and mellow or marinate or whatever. And while that's doing that, multitask so that I'm not wasting any time. Because like I said, it's fucking crunch time, baby. We gotta get this thing going. I'm gonna cut apart this and then I'm gonna like prepare my red dye. Okay, so yay, I have my shoulder and my sleeve pieces away from my bottom piece. Now, it's time to RIT dye this. I hope the RIT dye takes to it. So if you've never used RIT dye before, it's pretty easy. There's like a boil method, which makes a ginormous mess. I think I told you guys this story of when I RIT dyed my Velma and I did the boil method because it was like said for synthetic fabric, do the boil method. Well, the steam that is produced from boiling the water with the RIT dye in it, that steam is colored. If you've got cabinets above your stove, that steam goes right onto those cabinets and dyes your cabinets. So don't make that mistake. I technically probably should do the boil method because I don't even know what this is made out of. But I'm not going to. A, because I don't want the mess. B, I want it to go a little faster for me. And C, her jersey is kind of like a light-ish orange. So I'm just going to take my contacts out so I could read the smallest directions on the back here. And then I'm gonna dye this and let this sit until it's reached the color that I want it. And then while that's doing that, I'm gonna start doing my skirts. It said that I was supposed to heat up the water to just before boiling 200 degrees. It says that I'm supposed to maintain that temperature, but that's when the steam starts dyeing my cabinets, and I don't wanna do that. So I actually got it to just below boiling, and I have it sitting here right next to me. Add a teaspoon of liquid detergent, and then add this dye. Now, the funny thing is, it doesn't tell us how much water to use, so Joe, that's a hot pot of water. I just filled it enough to be like, that'll submerge this little piece of fabric. I'm guesstimating a teaspoon. And then I have a little stir stick. Now, of course, it says wear gloves, but I don't have gloves. So I just put the whole thing in this pot of water here. And then I got myself some tongs to get the shirt out. It already has dyed our skewer. Imagine that on all your kitchen cabinets. Now that we've got that ready, I'm gonna take my bottom half of my shirt, dunk it in, and then I'm gonna use my skewer. Oh, it's already dyeing like super fast. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This might not take long at all. The directions say it could take 30 minutes to achieve desired color, up to 60 minutes. Oh my gosh, you know what this is bringing back memories of? Remember those chair pads I dyed for teacher Jen? So here's our color now. I wanna try to match like one of these colors, I think. I don't know if I can start on my skirt like I had intended because this is dyeing much faster than I thought. I'm just gonna keep looking at this. Here's the pot cam. You can see the steam, so it's still really, really hot. What you wanna keep doing is like making sure that you're stirring it and making sure that it's not folding on itself because you want every little bit dyed perfectly. And that is looking pretty good. Golly, Rit dye, a pretty good invention. I'm gonna leave this in here for just a little bit longer because I think we are achieving desired orangeness. And then I gotta figure out what else I'm supposed to do after this. I'm sure it's like take it out, rinse it. But see, there's nothing stopping you. You find something that's not in the right color, buy some Rit dye for $4.99 and make it the right color. Know that in here, it's gonna look darker. When we rinse it and take it out, and let it dry, it's gonna just be a little bit lighter. And then we're supposed to rinse in warm water and then gradually rinse with cool water until the water runs clear. Then it says we're supposed to wash this with mild detergent or hand wash. I'm gonna forego that and I'm just gonna dry it so that I can move on to sewing it back together and putting my numbers on. It's a Halloween costume for Pete's sakes. I'm not gonna wear this every day. I don't need to wash it. It's mine. Rinsing, done. I tossed it in the dryer with a couple towels just to get it dry. Now I can work on her skirt. What I need to do is like try to cut a little V out. I think I'm gonna need to tighten it because I think the skirt is a little bit too big for me. And then I'm going to do stripes. So that's easy, right? We'll figure that out. It'll be fine. Look at Joe's totally helping me pin my skirt so that I can hem it so that it's short like a cheerleading skirt. Do you guys have a cute little helper like this? If you don't, you should get yourself one because look at all the work he's doing. He's not in the way at all. He's totally helping me. Isn't that right, Joe? You're totally helping me finish this costume. Yes, Sheri, I am helping you. Okay, I have hemmed my skirt with the help of Joe. A little bit shorter, so it's more like cheerleader skirt length. And then I also cut like the V out of it, and then I re-sewed on like a piece here because her skirt looks like this part goes over that part. So I did the best I could. Again, it's a Halloween costume. We're not wearing this to prom. If you can't sew and you need to adjust something, hot glue gun or iron-on hem tape. I have to do the stripes on her skirt next. It goes like orange, black, orange, white. And I contemplated hot gluing the stripes on, but then I thought, your sewing machine's out, you might as well just sew the stripes on. And then the skirt will be complete. It's a lot of sewing, which is why I'm still thinking about getting my hot glue gun out. But I'm gonna sew it, and then I'll be precise and I'll switch the thread and yada, yada, yada. My jersey's still drying in the dryer, but Davis did come home and put the finishing touch on the boot with the orange around the toe. How amazing. I'm telling you, I'm loving these boots. He did such a good job. So if you've got a kid that can help do some stuff for you, put them in charge of something like this. All right, let me finish this skirt. What are you guys working on right now? Are you working on a skirt? You working on your shirt? You working on your wig? We're in this together, so keep working. Skirt is done. Is it the best sewing job in all the land? No, it's not. But again, we're not making this to go to prom. This isn't Pretty in Pink. We're not trying to sew our own prom dress. This is a Halloween costume. Some of my lines aren't straight. Some shit's a little uneven. But from a distance and on Halloween night, it'll look just fine. So the only thing I have left to do on this is iron on the word rainbow right here. And then this sucker is done. And it sounds to me like my jersey is dried. So, next up, let's pull that out of the dryer. Fingers crossed, I can sew it back together. Woohoo! Look at me, I put my jersey back together. I mean, the orange is a little light. I mean, red dye didn't lie. It did lighten up, but I'm fine with it. It was actually easy to just sew right back together. I just did straight line stitch. However, this is the second time you're looking at it, because first time I sewed the top part so that all the seams were on the outside, and the bottom part, the seams were on the inside. So then I had to take part, and then I sewed it again the right way. So now all the seams are on the inside, and then I also cropped it, and now all I have to do is put the stripes on, and again, I'm gonna iron on. I haven't ironed on anything yet. That'll be the final step. I'll just iron everything all together, but then there will be her little number that goes right here. I'm really tired of sewing, but we're almost done. Oh, the things we do in the name of Halloween costumes. All the stripes are sewn on the jersey. So we've got both of our arms and our neck. So the only thing left for this is to iron on the number. We're almost done. We're in the home stretch. How are you guys doing on your costume? You're just sitting here watching me suffer, make mine. I'm sure that's what you're doing. But you need to be making yours. Come on, team. Let's make costumes together, because I'm almost done with mine, and I hope you're almost done with yours too. Now that this is done, skirt's done. Now I just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do the sock situation and then her hair bow. I don't really have a plan, and I don't necessarily have a plan for these either. But what I do know, it's like an orange and a little bit of white, and then a thicker, different color orange, and then a little bit of white, and then orange. Yeah. I mean, she does go to Rainbow High. Can't I just use rainbow socks? I think this is my last thing to sew. Can I just hot glue it? No, because I need them to stretch around my leg. I mean, these are super cute. So I need to sew a zigzag stitch with this like stretched out so that when I stretch it out over my leg, it doesn't pop all the threads. Do any of you guys sew? Can you guys come over and do the socks for me? I think I can't figure it out in my brain because I'm tired of sewing. I might need to, run to like the Taco Bell or something, or eat some ice cream to get rejuvenated and just push through this last little bit. If you're getting tired, you wanna quit, just take a little break. Maybe take a walk around the block, maybe go get yourself some Taco Bell, and then rejuvenate it. And we can push through this last little bit of our amazing Halloween costumes. So I was thinking, what if, this is gonna sound really dumb, but just hear me out. What if instead of sewing the orange stripes and trying to cover up the rainbow that's already here, I just put the sock on and put some paper towel under here, and then what if I just painted the lines? The only thing I'm worried about is I gotta iron, it says rainbow around in one of the orange stripes. And I don't really know if that's okay to do over fabric that's been painted. I don't know. But maybe I've been sitting on the floor and sewing for too long and I'm becoming delirious. Should we take a break? Maybe clean up all the threads and shit that are around us and revisit this after our mind is clear. Let's do that. Deal. I'll meet you back here in a little while. Okay, it's a new day and we are refreshed. I know it doesn't look like a new day because I'm in exactly the same clothes, but yesterday I went to pole in the morning and this morning I went to pole in the morning and I just put on the same thing. I gave the sock situation some thought. There's no way for me to get rid of this rainbow on these socks effectively so that I can make them match Poppy Rowan socks. As much as I hate to do it, I'm not gonna use these. So I went to the Halloween store and I was hoping to find just regular old white over the knee socks. I did not. But what I did find are these. So what I did have in my sewing basket was this orange elastic. I'll wear these socks as normal. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to sew two garters, if you will. So I'm just gonna wrap this around my leg and sew it together and make a loop. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna iron on the rainbow onto this and then put this right in the middle. So my socks won't be exactly like hers, but I mean, it'll be fine, whatever. My wig has all the details anyone could ever want anyways. I have this rainbow that I need to iron on, and it will be much easier to iron this on if this is flat. Then you'll sew it together. That's the plan. So now that we know that, all I have to do is iron on all of my details and then we'll be done. Okay, so what I'm most nervous about is ironing on the 59 onto this jersey because the jersey has lots of tiny holes in it and I don't know how that's gonna go. Everybody, fingers crossed. All right, I have the big Cricut situation. Oh, where's my protective thing? Oh my gosh, you guys. There is part of me that doesn't even want to do it. Part of me wants to just hand draw 59 onto this shirt. The time I put into this jersey to get ruined by an iron-on, I can't even. But that's not gonna happen, right? Positive vibes. Nothing but good vibes, as they say. I'm starting the timer. While this is happening and we're all crossing our fingers, you know, I was reading through comments, answering comments, and one of the comments was like, oh, how do you stay so young? And it wasn't, you know, like look young, it was like stay feeling young and that sort of thing. As I was writing back to the comment, I was like, well, pole keeps me really young because I think I'm the oldest one that goes to pole. Everybody there is much younger. They're like 23-year-olds, 25-year-olds, what have you. That keeps me pretty young, or feeling pretty young. Yeah, it's not sticking. I don't want to burn the shit out of it, but we'll up at 5 degrees. And the other thing that keeps me feeling pretty young is that throughout my entire life, I've been the oldest of all of my friend group. You know, it's like you're only as old as you feel on the inside. And believe me, I feel, I mean, not the mornings when I wake up after pole and my body can't move and, you know, it's like, this is my life now. But for the most part, I feel like I'm in my 30s. I can keep up with these young kids. I was saying it's like, just make sure you stay active and have fun. The minute you like tell yourself, I can only just sit down and just be a lump, well, then you'll start feeling like you can only sit down and be a lump. And I think that's what makes us, oh, I didn't start the timer. I think that's what makes us feel older than we actually are. But now as I'm sitting here doing this Halloween costume and, you know, harping on you guys about doing your Halloween costume. That's another thing, like I said in the beginning, why is it that these kids are the only ones that can have fun on Halloween? Why can't we? That's why I guess I'm so into like making a costume, dressing up. It's another thing that just keeps me feeling young. And this little cat makes me feel young too. I don't care how old we are. Like I went to the grocery store to get some Halloween candy and then I got little treats for my students on Monday. I wrapped them all up. I'll show them to you. They're right here. I'll show them. Because I know when we're older, you know, it's kind of looked down upon to go trick-or-treating. So I'm gonna have all my students trick-or-treat at Pole. And I put together these cute little treat bags for them because why not? They should be able to get candy on Halloween and I should be able to get candy on Halloween too. I mean, we're all dressing up for Pete's sakes. So I guess the point of the story is, if you're feeling old on the inside, make some changes. Have some fun. Dress up on Halloween. Pass out candy fully dressed up. There's nothing more fun. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't done it before, do it. You'll get a kick out of it. You'll have fun. Your neighbors will love you for it. The kids will be so excited when you open the door. It's fun. And we only get to do it once a year, so why not? Okay, so I've ironed this 59 on like 3 different times. There's parts of it that are sticking and parts of it that are not. So I think I'm just gonna keep like ironing, testing. And as I was like, ooh, all I have left to do is like make the garter and sew a loop. No, I forgot about the damn hair bow. Plus I need to figure out how to curl my hair. I mean, since my socks aren't to detail, I better make sure my ponytail is. Guys, it worked. It worked. Look it's so cute. I did have to bump up this iron to pretty high. I put it on 370. But it worked. Look at it. So here's my jersey with the little 59 and then the little RH logo there down at the bottom. Then I have my rainbow sock band that I just need to sew together like so. And then my skirt. Look it. I mean, with my boots, I'm loving it. I'm really loving it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that hair bow. But you know what? We'll figure it out. We figured everything out thus far, right? So it shouldn't be a problem. Okay, I'm fresh out of the shower. Hair's washed. I put it up in a high ponytail to hopefully, in my brain, what I'm thinking of to keep that wig on my head actually works. But first, we need to do the makeup look. This is what we were trying to achieve right here. It's not terribly complicated. I mean, she's got some freckles and like lashes and a little lip gloss. So I feel like we can knock that look out in a matter of seconds. So let's get to it. Okay, here we have the look. It took longer than just a few seconds. It took an hour to be exact. The eyelashes were giving me some issues. I probably reapplied this bottom lash like 17,000 times. I tried to create that little thing under her eye that looks like butterfly wings. This is my best attempt. But look, I have freckles, I have rosy cheeks, I have my gloss. I mean, it's like twinsies. So yeah. And now we gotta get the wig because I feel like that's gonna take me forever. So let's get the wig. All right, here she is. I have hot rollers in her. I loaded it with hairspray. I heated up my hot rollers really, really hot. And it's been sitting like this overnight. Now we just need to take these rollers out and see if it's curled. If it's not curled, there's not too much I can do about it. It's just gonna be a straight ponytail. But everybody cross your fingers that we have a nice curl. Okay, it's not like super great, but it's there. That's positive. Ooh, okay. So I feel like hopefully when I brush all the curls together, it will give me that one like giant curl, you know, one ringlet of a ponytail. Now, as far as it attaching to my head, because it's so top heavy, I was planning on cutting a hole in the top next to the ponytail and then pulling my ponytail through and then wrapping my ponytail around this ponytail. And then I have a sparkle clip that she has that I'm hoping that I can put through and then also attach to my hair because it just wants to fall right back. It's gonna take me a while and I don't have that much of a while left before I have to leave. So I gotta make this work. So everybody, cross your fingers. Okay, it's not awesome, and don't anybody look at it from the back underneath the ponytail because it is a shit show under there. Yeah, is that my brown hair showing? Why, yes it is. What's happening here? Are her tracks showing? Yes, they are. But guess what? She's a doll, and I'm just gonna assume she's been played with. So yeah, thankfully, the ponytail is so heavy, it is covering up the shit show. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys, but don't tell anybody. This is like the secret wizard behind the curtain. Holy shit, what's going on back there? I don't know, but there's about 8,000,000 gazillion bobby pins. I'm gonna have the biggest headache. I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to teach in this today. And it's not like I can take it off because there are so many bobby pins. But now it's time to get dressed because I gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Okay, I don't know how to show you guys the whole thing, so just take it in from a distance until I get real close. What's up? Oh, can you see all of me from here? Just ignore the mess here, that's the sewing and stuff. But here she is. It's Poppy Rowan. Go team. Yes. Do you love it? I mean, I wish the wig was a little better, but what is lacking in the wig, I make up for in the rest of the outfit. Yay, team! Okay, so yay. There you have it, and there it is. We all just got ready for the best day in the whole United States of America, and I'm so excited! I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends, and as always, thanks for hanging out, and